Alright guys, it is Sunday, May 29th, 2022. So I'm getting a late start today. I just got back from the cemetery and I drove my mom and dad down there in their car. It's about an hour from here, maybe a little over an hour. Went down, decorated the graves, cleaned up, around the headstones and stuff a little bit. So I'm getting a late start getting back out here, but I'm gonna go ahead and tear into this engine. I want to kind of get this thing broke down today and look at it and make a decision whether I'm going to go ahead and try to overhaul it or go ahead and drop in the 305 that's over there already overhauled. I've got a 305 HO from an 87 SS Monte Carlo Aero Coupe over there that I've already honed and rerung it, polished the crank myself, and then put new bearings in it, cleaned the block and everything. It's just a short block. I think the cam's in it, the timing chain's on it, oil pumps on it, I think. But I built that 305 for my wife's 55 four-door project, and I hate to use that engine when this is the original one out of the truck. I kind of want to keep this truck all original, so that's kind of why I want to keep it. Just because of my father-in-law. He was always into originality. He's really hardcore into original. All right, I cleaned this piston off here, 030, so this is definitely bored out 30 over. That's pretty cool. I can't tell if that's a carbon. Oh yeah, it's just carbon. So there's no ridge at all. First time I go across it with my fingernail there, it pulls the carbon off, but after that it doesn't catch anything. You can still kind of see cross hatches in there, so that is awesome. All right guys, so I've been I got the engine put on the stand, and then I just knocked the timing cover off of it, and check out that slack in that timing chain. I think that's the worst I've ever seen out of all of them I've ever taken apart. That thing is wore out, man. Wow. Oh, looky here, boys. Look at that. See the marks on that timing cover right there and there? Those are way more prominent there. Well, I found a noise. One of. So I haven't pulled any rods and main caps yet. I'm getting ready to do that now, but I'm telling you, my hopes are pretty high right now because it's 30 over. I mean, I hope the crank's not trashed, you know what I mean? All right, so the crankshaft has been turned 10 thousandths according to the bearings, so it shows a 10 stamping on it. Now this is number 2. It's got a little bit of copper showing through it. Looks like it's had a little trash go through it, but the crank feels pretty good. I'm not feeling anything rough, but I've still got a long way to go, so hopefully it doesn't get no worse than that, but be my luck, it probably will, you know what I mean? So these are just probably some cheapo bearings. This one appears to be good shape too. That's kind of awesome. rubber covers on these studs, so when I knock it out, I don't get into the crankshaft. .010. Hopefully the mains are 10 too. Copper showing in that bearing too. All right, so the crank is nice for the rods. The rod side of it is, the rod journals are great. So now I'm getting ready to figure out what the mains look like here. That one's good. A little discoloration there on the bearing, but I got no grooves or nothing that catches the fingernails anyway. The journal's fine, but look at all the copper in that bearing. A lot of copper on that one. Nothing's catching my fingernail. Well, this one, it does feel like it's got a few little, it's not terrible. I think it'll polish right out, but I mean, it's still nice enough you could put another bearing on it. This one's also to copper. That crank does not need turn so far, unless this rear is wasted. Nice. Got a spot in it right there, right in the middle. I don't understand it. There's a that crank will polish and take a rebearing just fine. Man, I got lucky, man. I'm telling you. I'm just going to do a self-polish on the crank and buy a new set of 10 over bearings. And oh, I need to see what bearing sizes these are. See if it's 1020 or 1010 or 10 standard or can't tell what that says. .010, so it's a 1010 crank. That's freaking awesome, man. All right, so we got a 30 over 305 one-piece rear main block with a 1010 crankshaft in it. I cannot tell you how happy I am right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just overhaul this, just re-ring it, re-bearing it. I need to pull the cam lifters out and check them over. Definitely put a timing chain in it. I'm going to go ahead and put a new oil pump in it. And the truck will have its original engine in it. Here, I'm gonna get these out of here. My redneck way of getting them out of there, you know what I mean? All right, I've got a giant mess in the driveway, but this is pretty much how a driveway rebuild goes, you know what I mean? So I've never seen somebody use so much silicone on an oil pan gasket before in my life. I never got the oil pan off. I actually bent the flange down in the front trying to get it off. So I've got all the freeze plugs removed, all the brass ones except these two rear ones. I'm gonna have to take the engine stand plate off the back of it to get them out. So I grabbed my drill with my old ball bead hone on there, and I started to hone this cylinder, and the battery went dead in the drill. So I grabbed my spare battery over there out of my pouch, and apparently it was dead, and I never did stick it on the charger, so both my batteries are dead. I've got one in the impact there that'll work, but I think it's just about dead as well. So I think I'm going to take that as a sign for to quit for the night. So this is pretty much the end of Sunday evening. So what I have decided is I dug through my cabinet over there. These are brand new GM roller lifters in the boxes. I'm actually missing one, but the top of the box was open, and I think it's underneath my cabinet over there. So I need to dig in my cabinet and see if I can find the other one. That's a brand new set of factory GM roller lifters. This engine was a hydraulic flat tappet cam, but all the lifters have a little bit of a dish in them, just a little bit. So, you know, it would probably be okay to reuse, but it's just a slight little indent. It's not like they're mushroomed out or nothing. But anyway, this has the threaded bosses here for the cam plate, has the threaded bosses here. I've got a friend of mine that's got a like a late model 350 out of a Suburban out in his yard that he put out there for me to go get all the roller lifter stuff out of. I can have the cam lifters, the tray, and the dog bones and all that stuff out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go get that stuff next week because it's free. I'm just going to reuse the cam and then use all his hardware and all the bolts and, you know, cam plate, all that stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and put brand new lifters in it since I already have them. So that way this engine in this truck will be a roller, and I won't have to run the expensive you know, oils with the zinc and all that other stuff in it, the ZDDP in it. So that'll be kind of nice. So the cam bearings are in really nice shape. The cylinder walls are in nice shape. I mean, it's going to make a great engine, man. I'm really happy about that. I didn't really find a smoking gun for the knock other than maybe the timing chain, but I did have some of the you know, the bearings are to the copper, but the crank's pretty nice. So I'm just going to polish it myself. But this thing definitely needs a bath, so I'm going to use Easy Off Oven Cleaner, a whole bunch of that, and then I'll have to borrow my mom and dad's pressure washer and pressure wash everything. But I'm probably going to go ahead and put a little muriatic acid down in the coolant passages and let it soak like I did that other engine, because it just made the inside of that block absolutely flawlessly clean gray metal. So when I went to drain the coolant out of the side of this block, this one here, when I took the plug out, nothing come out, and I knew there was antifreeze inside the block. So I took a screwdriver and started poking it, and then it blowed out. So it had some gunk built up around it. So that's why I want to go ahead and boil it out a little bit. But this is just going to be a little bit of a redneck rebuild. I'm going to go ahead and put a brand new Melling stock replacement oil pump in it. I'm going to put a new timing chain in it, new rings, new rod and main bearings. I'm going to hone the cylinders. I'm going to hand polish the crank myself with sandpaper. I've got a little trick to do on that. Probably not much different than anybody else has done it at home. But so, yeah, it should be all right. But I can't believe how greasy that engine is for a new engine. That thing is greasy, man. Golly, it's pitiful. The thing that I'm blown away by is the sludge, man. I mean, it's very, very sludgy engine. Look at that crap in there. So definitely need to use a good oil in here. You know, I've always, well, for the past, I don't know, 20, 25 years, I've been running a Rotella 1540 because it's at Walmart and it's pretty inexpensive. But so for the last 3 years, I've changed the oil in this truck twice, and I've been running Rotella in it. So I don't know if some of the sludgy stuff may be from that Rotella, but my father-in-law always run Pennzoil in this engine, and I've not been a big fan of Pennzoil, but I don't have, you know, a whole lot of experience at it. So this is a neighbor's dog. It always gets out of the neighbor behind me. And it's a really nice little dog, but my dog just chases that thing all over the backyard. It's kind of funny. It's a little bit skittish, but watch this. We'll mess with it a little bit. Oh, I'm so mean. Now he'll come back over here in a minute, and I'll give him a dog biscuit, and he'll be just fine and let me pet on him. Oh boy, I'm really a dog guy, just messing with a dog. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm at. This thing it's going to get a major clean job, you know, a driveway rebuild, so to speak, which is pretty much what I've had to do all my life. Is pretty much just build this stuff right in the driveway or inside the garage or something. You're not going to find no fancy engine building room here. But I'm blown away by that engine, how good a shape it's in. That's fantastic. It's just sludgy. It's really a dirty engine. So I'll clean every orifice of this thing. I'm going to brush all the oil galleys out and everything. I'll brush the crank holes and everything. I've got all the brush set, the engine brush set to do all that. So should be in good shape. Should be. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, and I've probably got grease all over my face. Got mosquitoes out here, and every time I go to smack myself on the head to get one of them off of me, I've probably got grease marks on me. But I am done for today, Sunday. Thanks for watching.